So hello, my name's Helen Lundell and I'm going to be talking to you about an emerging trend in food culture that we're just starting to see. And so my question for you is, have you ever heard of Dothraki goat or lembas bread or grusling soup? So if they seem vaguely familiar but you can't quite put your finger on where you've seen them before, there's a very good reason for it. It's because all of those are fictional foods or food inspired by fiction. And they've all appeared in some of the biggest sellers on screen and in print that we've seen in the last few years. But the really interesting thing about them is that we're also starting to see them in consumers' homes. So if you go out into the world and go into somebody's house, or you look online at Pinterest boards or blogs, you'll find things like food from the 50 Shades of Grey, or blogs like the Middle-earth Foodie, or books about food from Narnia, or District 12, or Mad Men. The question is, why is this happening? Why are we seeing all these meals jump from page and screen onto consumers' plates? And I think we can explain it in terms of, as a pretty natural extension of some more normal food trends that we're seeing day to day. So the first big trend that fictional foods really seem to fit into is that consumers are really looking for variety and adventure in their food. I think, even looking at the ethnic food trend that we've been seeing in the last couple of years, particularly younger generations are feeling totally liberated from recreating the food that their mum made and her mum before her. And they're going out and looking for new flavors and new experiences. And when they go out to an ethnic food restaurant, they're not just looking for an exciting taste. They're also looking to connect to new cultures and totally new experiences, to be somebody different. And even though it may seem strange, fictional foods kind of fit into that idea. Because even though the worlds that people are reading about and seeing on screen aren't real, they kind of feel real, and they're something that people participate in when they're watching and when they're reading. They take them somewhere different. And food is a really kind of exciting and visceral way to get into those worlds and feel connected with them. And I guess one of the kind of interesting things is that even though they're not real, in some ways they're kind of a lot closer to consumers than some of the countries are where they're getting ethnic food from, which may be a 12-hour plane flight away. These fictional worlds are actually just right with them all the time. They're on the books and on the screens that they have with them, and they've shared them with their friends and family. So, fictional food can actually really bring people together as they share and relive the experiences they've been having when they've been watching and reading together. The second trend that fictional foods really fit perfectly into is that we're seeing more and more that consumers really want to be creative with their food. Even though they're looking for lots of convenience in their day-to-day lives, when they're actually sitting down and wanting to be involved in their food, they want to create it, they want to make it, they want to be excited about it. And fictional foods really fit perfectly into that idea because in some ways, yes, they're interesting, they're often brightly coloured and exciting and even using ingredients that don't actually exist. But also, there's something amazing about making a meal from fiction. It's not just like sitting down and making a recipe from a recipe book. You're actually like bringing something to life. And that's so cool for consumers because they're not just showing off their culinary prowess, they're also showing off how imaginative and involved they are. And that's something that people are always looking for today. So given how well fictional food fits in with all these other things that consumers are looking for in their day-to-day lives, we think it's really a trend worth watching. And manufacturers and retailers would do really well to be sort of thinking one step ahead and thinking about how they can help consumers sort of connect with these new and imaginary worlds. And also thinking about how they can help them connect alongside other people to make it a really social experience. And finally, helping them be really involved in the creative process so that they can feel like they're imaginative and involved and part of the process.